Hello everyone. In this occasion, I will explain about my lesson plan for 10th grade of vocational high school. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Isnan Hertanti Febriana with student number 18520022. Okay, we're gonna start from basic competence and then standard competence, learning indicators, and from the activity. Um, Opening activity, main activity, and for last, closing activity. Okay, let's start it. Okay, let's start from lesson plan. Point A, school identity, name of school, SNKN3 Surakarta, subject English, class 10, skill writing, topic descriptive text. And then point B, standard competence. Point 1, living and practicing the religious teaching, it embraces 2. Living and practicing honesty, discipline, responsibility, caring behavior such as polite, cooperative, tolerant, and peaceful, responsive, and proactive, and showing attitude as part of solution to a problem in interacting effectively with the social environment and nature, and placing ourselves as a reflection of the nation in the association of the world. 3. Understanding, applying, and analyzing factual, conceptual procedure, and more cognitive knowledge based on curiosity about science, technology, art, culture, and humanity with the insight of humanity, nationality, state, and civilization on the causes of phenomena and events, procedural knowledge, specific field of the study according on their talents and interest to solve a problem. Next, 4. Processing reasoning and requiring in the concrete and abstract real relate to the development of self-learning in school independently, acting effectively and creatively, and capable of using method according to scientific rules. And then point C, there are basic competence and indicators. 1.1, being grateful to the opportunity to learn English as the language of instruction for international communication, which is manifest in the spirit of learning. 2.3, demonstrate responsible, caring, cooperative, and peace-loving behavior in carrying out functional communication. 3.7, analyzing social functions, text structure, and linguistic elements in simple descriptive text about people, tourist attraction, and famous historical buildings according to the context of their use. 4.8, capturing meaning in simple oral and written descriptive text. 4.9, editing oral and written descriptive text, simple about people, tourist attraction, and famous folk historical buildings, considering social functions, text structures, and linguistic elements that are correct and in context. 4.10, compose simple oral and written descriptive texts about people, tourist attraction, and famous historical buildings, considering the purpose, text structures, and linguistic elements correctly and in context. Now we're going to the point D, learning indicators. Students are able to A. Identify specific information in descriptive text according to the context. B. Identify meaning and ideas in a descriptive text. C. Identify aspects that are in the descriptive text. D. Write the vocabulary or grammar of descriptive text correctly. Point E, learning objective. A. Identify the meaning, social function, text structure, and linguistic elements in simple spoken and written descriptive texts about tourist attraction or historical buildings according to usage. B. explain the contents of oral and written description of tourist attraction or historical buildings by considering the purpose of communication, text structure, and linguistic elements of descriptive text according to the context of use. C. Describe orally and in written in writing tourist attraction or historical buildings by paying attention to social functions, text structure, and linguistic element of descriptive text correctly according to the context of use. Now we're going to the point F. There are learning material. First, social function to describe something, someone, place in specific way. Language element A. Describes people, objects, animal in a specific or detailed way. B. Using the simple present tense, subject plus V1, S or ES plus object. C. Using attributive verbs has and identifying is and are. D. Using adjective in describing objects. E. Word and grammar commonly used in descriptive text such as the characteristic of object, animal, and humans. For example, big, large, stunning, beautiful, and the other. Pinchi, nouns and adjective. Noun is thing, a place, or a person, an animal, while adjective is a word that describes a noun. An adjective that describes a noun is called modifier. A noun that goes with a modifier is called a noun phrase. For example, the adjective beautiful, unique, nice, and noun bird, monkey, place. And for the noun phrase, beautiful bird, unique monkey, and nice place. And for the adjective expresses, there are quantity, value or opinion, size, temperature, age, shape, color, origin, material, and thing. For the example of quantity, there are 4, 10, a few, and several. And for example of opinion or value, delicious, charming, beautiful. Example of size, tall, tiny, huge. Example of temperature, there are hot and cold. Example of age, old, young, new, 14 years old. Example of shape, square, round, triangle. Example of color, red, purple, green. Example of origin, Swedish, Victorian, Chinese. Example of material, glass, silver, and wooden. And for the last example about things, there are sofa, table, and bottle. Now we're going to the next point. H. Approach and learning media. First, I'm using scientific approach and for the media, video from YouTube, such as video material about describing someone, picture about animal, thing, or person, example text from internet, and student worksheet. Now we're going to the learning activity 1. For the activity, there are 3 points. First, pre-activity or opening, main activity, and closing. And on the right side, there are teachers activity, students activity. Okay, let's start from the pre-activity from the teachers. A. The teachers greet the students. B. The teacher leads the class to pray together. C. The teacher checks the students' attendance. D. The teachers ask the students to mention person, place, or things that they like to attract the students' attention. And the students' activity, A. The students giving response. B. The students follow the teacher's instruction. C. The students giving response, and D. The students answering the teacher question. For example, the teacher will say, "Hello everyone, hello my student, hello my lovely student," and another greeting, and then the teacher will lead to pray, and then the teacher called the name of the students one by one to check their attendance, and then the teacher asks the students to mention a place, person, or things. Now we're going to the main activity. They are observing from the teacher's activity. A. The teacher shows some pictures of people, and students are asked to observe the pictures carefully so that they can explain or make descriptive sentence based on the picture. B. The teacher asks students to describe the picture that have been observed in simple language. Students' activity. A. Students observe the picture as given by the teacher carefully. B. Students describe the photo or picture based on their observation using their own language. Now we're going to the next point, questioning from the teacher's activity. A. With the guidance and direction of the teacher, the students ask some question. B. After that, the teacher asks the students to answer the question correctly. For the example, who is the character in the text? Number 2, what clothes does Rowan Atkinson often wear? And for the students' activity, A. Students make questions related to the picture given by the teacher. B. Students answer the question provided in accordance with the provision in the descriptive text. Now, point exploring from the teacher. The teacher provides a learning media such as in this example, I give a video about describing people from YouTube, and then point B. After watching the video, the teacher gives us descriptive text about Rowan Atkinson. Students are asked to read and pay attention to the descriptive text, then write down the vocabulary they find and their meaning, done individually. And the worksheet on activity 2. And then point C. After writing the vocabulary obtained, the students are asked to make a paragraph based on the topic sentence that has been given by the teacher on activity 3. Now, the students' activity. A. Students watch the video carefully. B. Students do their work individually. C. Students develop topic sentence that have been given by the teacher using their own language. Okay, now the next point, associating from the teacher activity. The teacher divides the students into several groups. Each group consists of 2 students. B. The teacher gives students picture of person. Then the students are asked to describe the picture in their own language correctly. After that, present the result in front of the class. And the student works it on activity 4. And point C, after doing some exercise, teacher asks students to arrange jumbled word into a good and correct sentence. And in activity 5. Next, students' activity. A. Students paying attention to the teacher explanation. B. Students do their work in pairs. C. Students do the question well as directed by the teachers. And for the next point, communicating from the teacher activity. A. Teacher instructs the students to read the result of the discussion briefly in front of the class. in their own language. B. Teacher gives comment and or feedback about the result that they have presented. And students' activity. A. Students present the result of the discussion with their partners. B. The students pay attention to the teacher explanation. Now we're going to the closing activity from the teachers. The teachers review the material that has been studied and ask students to ask questions about things that have not been understood. B. The teacher asks the students to write a resume about some important points that appear in learning activities related to the material. C. The teachers and the students conclude the material that has been studied on the day. D. The teacher ends the class by saying thank you or see you later. Now the students' activity. A. The students pay attention to the teacher and ask some questions to the teacher. B. Students write a resume about today's material. C. The students pay attention to the teacher explanation. And for the last, students say thank you ma'am and see you later. After that, the teacher leads the student to pray together and close the class. Now we're going to the student worksheet for lesson plan 1. This is the activity 1. There are descriptive texts. So the students are asked to answer this question according to the descriptive text. And then there are activity 2. The students asked to write down the vocabulary they get from the descriptive text and write the vocabulary write down the vocabulary along with the meaning. And then activity 3, there are the topic sentence below into a paragraph. And activity 4, the students are asked to make a short descriptive text about pictures according to the picture. And for the last activity 5, the students are asked to arrange the jumbled word into a good sentence. And this is the key answer of the students' worksheet. Now we're going to the learning activity 2. Pre-activity from the teachers. A. The teachers greet the students. B. The teacher leads the class to pray together. C. The teacher checks the students' attendance. And D. The teacher asks the students to mention person, place, or things that they like to attract students' attention. And the students' activity. A. The students giving response. B. The students follow the teacher's instruction. C. The students giving response. D. The students answer the teacher's question. And now we're going to the main activity. There are observing from the teacher. A. The teacher shows a video about how to describe place, person, or things, and the students are asked to observe the video carefully to understand the material about descriptive text. B. After watching the video, students were asked to do exercise to match the vocabulary with the Indonesian. And this worksheet on activity 1. Students' activity. A. Students observe the video as given by the teachers clearly. B. Students answer the questions carefully. Next point, questioning from the teacher's activity. A. With the guidance and direction of the teacher, students answer some question about picture of place. For example, where is Kuta Beach located? And then, is Kuta Beach a must-visit tourist destination when on vacation? And the worksheet on activity 2. Now we're going to the students activity. A. Students make question from the teacher relate to the picture given by the teacher. Now exploring from the teacher's activity. A. The teacher asks students to look for explanation about descriptive text from free source. B. The teacher gives practice question to fill in the gaps. Students are asked to work on the question properly and correctly in activity 3. Now the students activity. A. Students look for descriptive text explanation from various sources such as internet, book, and other sources. B. Students do their work. Now point about associating. A. Teacher associating from the teacher activity. A. Teacher divide the students into several groups. Each group consists of 2 students. B. The teacher asks the students to rearrange jumbled sentence into a good and correct paragraph on activity 4. Now the students activity. A. Students paying attention to teacher explanation. B. Students do the question well as they write by the teacher. And point communicating from the teacher's activity. A. Teacher instructs the students to read the result of discussion briefly in front of the class. B. Teacher gives comment or feedback about the result that they have presented. C. The teacher reviews the material that has been studied and asks students to ask some questions about things that have not been understood. D. The teacher asks the students to write a resume about some important points that appear in learning activities related to the material. Now, students' activity. A. Students present the result of the discussion with their partners. B. The students pay attention to the teacher's explanation. C. The students pay attention to the teacher and ask some question to the teacher. And the last point, students write a resume about today's material. And for closing activity from the teacher and the students conclude the material that has been studied on the day. B. The teacher ends the class by saying thank you or see you later. And in the students activity, A. The students pay attention to the teacher explanation. B. The students say thank you ma'am or see you later. And then the teacher leads to pray together and close the class. Now we're going to the student worksheet from learning activity 2. This is the activity 1. Match the word with their Indonesian equivalent like this. And this is the example. Now we're going to the activity 2. Read the text below carefully and then answer the question given below. Answer question carefully. So this is the descriptive text about Kuta Beach, and this is the question about Kuta Beach. Now we're going to the activity 3 like this. And for activity 4, 1. Arrange the following jumbled sentence into a good descriptive text. There are 5 questions here, and the seconds activity, our second worksheet. Arrange the following jumble sentence into a good descriptive text. Okay, now this is the key answer from activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, activity 4. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Stay healthy and stay safe, everyone. Bye bye.